I'm Tracy Walker, and today I'm going to read another chapter of my book, The Cards I Was Dealt That Transformed My Life. And today's chapter is chapter 19, Two Lives Connected Forever. Everyone was so happy for us. Our guests travelled to the reception venue while we spent time with the photographer in the gorgeous gardens. There were little nooks surrounded by stunning colour and huge variety of flowers. We had our first toast as a married couple together in this magical place with a bottle of bubbly my new husband and his brother had thoughtfully brought along. Everything was perfect. At the reception, my daughter's partner at the time kept popping up in the trees and at the table, taking candid on-the-spot shots. Looking back at them now still makes me laugh. One of the photos shows me, mouth wide open, about to take a bite of my dessert. It was the sort of dessert that deserves to be devoured in that manner. A decadent chocolate mousse covered in colourful edible decoration with a wafer poking out of the top. There are so many memorable images, all of which captured our happiness. A wonderful evening was had by all. We laughed and we danced, and he even took my garter off with his teeth. It was also heartwarming to see my husband and his younger brother getting along. They didn't when I first met him. Now his brother had just been best man, and they were both as happy as anything. The next morning we went for a walk along the beach with our guests before heading off for our honeymoon in tropical paradise. Honeymooning in a tropical island in Tahiti was a no-brainer. We both loved travel and both loved water. It was the ideal location, but in my true style, the time was also not without hiccups. It all started as a luggage carousel in Papeete. We watched and we waited as everyone else on our flight collected their bags. Fewer and fewer bags were coming out until nothing. The carousel was empty. All we could do was fill in some forms at the lost luggage counter and head to our hotel with nothing but the clothes on our backs. In my case, it was jeans and a jacket because it had been cool when we'd left Brisbane. It wasn't so cool in Papeete though. The next morning we had to put on our dirty clothes for our flight to Morea Island. As we touched down, all I could think about was finding a shop, any shop, that sold swimmers and a sarong. I was hot and needed to get out of these clothes I'd had on for 2 days straight. Once we arrived at the resort, we explained our luggage situation and the lovely receptionist contacted the airline to start trying to track it down. We also contacted the insurance company. Keep your receipts for any clothes you buy, they said. There was a distinct lack of concern, which we weren't overly impressed by though. We were on a very small island. All of our clothes, including my sexy underwear, were flying off to who knows where. Our first priority was to find something to wear. There were a few general clothing stores, swimmers and sarong would do for now, but I needed some underwear. Eventually found a tiny general store that had some underwear, although it most certainly wasn't honeymoon worthy. The following day we found out our luggage had gone to Chile. It may take up to 5 days to get back here, the receptionist told us. Never travel without a small pack of essentials. Always bring a toothbrush and a change of underwear in your hand luggage. Never assume your luggage will follow you because you just never know. Those are the lessons I learned and I still live by today. Luggage issue aside, we loved our time together. My husband had been a diver for 20 years and he wanted me to learn too, so I could go diving with him. I said yes and booked in for a diving lesson. I struggled with the instructor's accent. He could speak English, but his pronunciation was really hard for me to decipher. I was ready to throw in the towel because very little he said made sense. My husband came to the rescue again, of course. After the lesson, he took me to the water in front of the bungalow and explained how to clear my mask. My husband explained everything so easily and convinced me to keep trying. Eventually, I got it and we booked some dive trips. It was amazing. Even my husband was stoked. The water was crystal clear, just like water out of the tap. Statues covered the sea floor, and there were reef sharks and other fish everywhere. We even swam with stingrays. We got so close to them. Wow! It was a different world, and I immediately understood why my husband loved it so much. Another thing we did was hire a scooter so we could travel around the island and up the mountain. The funny thing was that we could have walked faster going up the mountain than on the scooter. All part of the experience. During our explorations, we came across a Tahitian black pearl merchant, and my husband bought me a beautiful necklace, a dolphin with a black pearl attached. I still wear it today. We got into the Tahitian culture. The dancing and the tattoos are unbelievable. Each tattoo has a meaning to the person who has it, and every tattoo had a story to tell. We just loved it. On day 5, we finally got our luggage back. Naturally, it was disappointing, but we survived, and more importantly, we didn't let it spoil our honeymoon. Back in Australia again, we settled into our new home that we'd bought together. The house ticked all the boxes. We had a vision of a shed and a place to park the water toys and camping gear. It had 2 stories with a gallery overlooking the formal lounge and a fireplace that would send warm air up into the bedrooms on those cold winter nights. It was also on acreage, which led to many discussions about what we wanted to do with it to make it our own. I have a photo of him taken as he was laying on the floor and putting together his stereo system that had been in storage for such a long time. He was so excited to have a place to call home. It was the beginning of our new life together as husband and wife. We had so many ideas and plans for what we wanted to do. We loved spending time discussing what we wanted for the garden and how we wanted the workshop. Everything was perfect, as it could possibly be. Our time off went by so quickly, and before I knew it, I was back to my teaching job and he was off organising himself with work. When we got home each afternoon, though, we always discussed our respective days. It was all so exciting. Every little detail was as it should be. Then everything changed. The reflection of that chapter. I would never have believed I was worthy of having such an amazing person love and respect me as he did. Those who tried so hard to destroy what we had never had a chance, as our love was so deep. We had a vision for our lives and had accepted that some were not on the same page as us. Once we focused on our life, we stopped trying to convince others to join us. We decided that was their choice. We also decided to choose something loving and kind rather than manipulation and games. I'm not saying it was easy. What I'm saying is that forcing people to do what they don't want to do usually encourages them to go in the opposite direction. I know that to be true from my own teenage years. The more parents said I could do something, I put boundaries up, the more I worked to find a way around them. I recognised I tried to do the same to my daughter when we locked horns. I'm grateful that I continue to move forward and grow to a point where I realise some people are going to do what they are going to do anyway. So why waste precious time forcing people to do what they don't want to do? The easier road for my life is to allow others to make their decisions while I put my time and energy into expanding my conscious awareness. I did that and was lucky to attract someone who loved me. What can you let go of to have the life you would truly love? What is holding you back? Are you still on that merry-go-round to nowhere? Are you ready to step off the same old way of doing things and explore what is possible for your life? Amazing things start to happen when you let go of the anger, disappointment, hurt, and all those things that take up your energy. For me, focusing on others and their unacceptable behaviour took my focus away from what I needed to change. We all have a choice. What is your choice today? And I'll leave you with this quote. You alone are the judge of your worth, and your goal is to discover infinite worth in yourself, no matter what anyone else thinks. Deepak Chopra.